I'm shooting this video in reaction to Moses Malone's unfortunate death. If you don't know, Moses Malone passed away this past weekend at the age of 60, which is really considered a young age, this day and time for someone to pass away. And my theory is, I'm not a specialist or an expert. I can't sit here and claim that my theory is supported and backed by some Harvard, some science or health board from the University of Harvard. This is just from what I've experienced and witnessed from my days of playing sports at a collegiate level and at a high school level, and also knowing people that have played on a professional level or competed at an Olympic level. So that's why I'm naming this video my theory on why athletes pass away young. Now, I'm gonna start off like this. I believe the common misconception or perception is people perceive that athletes, live off this strict and good diet. I'll tell you this, athletes have probably the worst diet out of any demographic of people. The reason why athletes are in shape is because we train like Navy SEALs damn near. So we can eat a bunch of junk food, but we're gonna expel the toxins because of the amount of just the physical activity we put in. I give you a prime example. When I ran track at the University of Georgia, I had two teammates, Olympic caliber. In fact, I want to say either participated in the Olympics or made it to the Olympic trials. One was a hurdler. I'm not going to name their names. One was a hurdler. I promise you, all this cat ate was hot dogs. That's all he ate. Hot dogs. That's it. That's all. But he performed at an Olympic caliber. Like, it was crazy. All he ate was hot dogs. And then the other one was a shot putter. All he ate was donuts. And I want to say he made it to the Olympics, but all he ate was donuts. So, and then when I played football at Georgia, cat, linebacker, first round draft pick, all he ate was varsity hot dogs. That's all he ate, varsity hot dogs. And then if you ask old school football players or old school strength coaches, what did they suggest to athletes as far as putting on weight? It was beer and pizza. That was the staple, the food staple to gain weight. It was beer and pizza, because you mix the alcohol with the yeast and you expand. So from the outside looking in, these athletes look healthy. I mean, they're in great shape because they perform and they practice at Olympic caliber and just a crazy level as far as our workout regimens. So we look good. But this is what happens. The majority of my buddies that have retired or stopped playing sports, they literally go cold turkey on working out, meaning they completely shut down. But the issue with that is they keep the same poor diet habits. So they're still eating just hot dogs, they're still eating just donuts, but they're no longer working out. So you got to think about it. I mean, your body's not getting the nutrition. You're eating just junk food. So, me personally, again, I'm not an expert, but I think it's a shock to your body when you completely just shut down, stop working out, and just continue to eat junk food. So that's part of my theory why a lot of these athletes end up dying early, is because they keep the same bad health habits the same bad nutrition habits, and they stop the physical regimen as far as working out. They're no longer working out. So That's my theory on why these athletes are dying young. Because again, you're eating nothing but junk food, and you're not putting yourself through some type of intense physical regimen to sweat out all these toxins from this junk food. You might just do yoga twice a week so you can look at fat camel toe in tight yoga pants. That's not enough. That's not it. Not enough. So another theory is, of course, these supplements. I'm not gonna lie, I took a ton of supplements in college. A ton. I had a supplement for everything. I was on creatine. I was taking these nitrogen pills because they're supposed to stop the oxygen from going into your muscles so you don't get as fatigued. I was taking amino acids, post-workout, pre-workout. I was on all types of supplements. And then again, like I said, I have my teammates eating varsity hot dogs, still competing at a professional or Olympic caliber. So what happens, these athletes that are taking all of these supplements, your kidneys cannot handle, digesting and filtering just the nutrients from these supplements. So your kidneys are overworking. So that's another reason why a lot of these athletes are dying early, is because their kidneys are just overworked. Their liver is overworked from taking all these supplements and eating all this junk food. That's why these professional wrestlers are dying and having heart attacks, kidney failure, because they're doping up for like 20, 30 years. And I'm telling you, once you dope up for that extended period of time, you really can't reverse it. Like, your body is just fucked up. And I know I'm not using these scientific terms, but you get the picture. So that's another reason why. So it's like a double-edged sword. You take all these supplements to stay healthy, but you're really killing yourself. Because again, I'm a big fan of everything in moderation. Take some supplements. Don't take too many supplements in excess, because your body just can't handle it. Or you're eating junk food, and that's why these athletes are passing away at an early age. So Moses Malone. In fact, I'm gonna talk about basketball players now. We're gonna stick specifically on basketball players. If you notice, like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Moses Malone, Dominique Wilkins, like, these basketball players, once they retire, they blow up. Like, they get huge. Like, they put on so much weight. Again, not working out and eating the wrong foods and keeping the bad habits when it comes to their diet. I give you a prime example, Dominique Wilkins. When you look at Dominique Wilkins when he played for the Hawks, skinny, slim, limber, jumping out the roof. Now, I was watching TV the other day. Dominique Wilkins is, I guess, the national spokesman, or is being endorsed by some, I guess, insulin or some diabetic medicine, because he's diabetic now. Dominique Wilkins is huge. He almost looks like an old offensive tackle. Again, just for some reason, when athletes retire, they retire from working out, period, and it's just not good for their bodies. And what's ironic about college athletes is, like, we have access to the best nutritionists, best dietitians, if that's even a word, on the planet. It's just we don't use them. But it's free and we have access to it. We have access to the best food, and the food is free. We have the training table. I think they banned the training table, but I know when I was at Georgia, we had our own training table, and we have access to good food. It's just we don't eat it. I would say the one program that I was impressed with, sports program that I was impressed with, that really made it an importance to ensure that their athletes are sticking to a proper nutrition regimen, was the University of Nebraska. I remember in 1999 and 2000, 1999, when I took my recruiting visits to the University of Nebraska, I mean, they wrote those players about their meals and eating properly like I've never seen it before. Like they controlled their meals truly, their supplements and everything. And when I say that everybody on the University of Nebraska football team, from the kicker and punter to the damn safety to the walk-ons, looked like Greek gods, I'm not exaggerating. It was crazy. Like I never seen a kicker rip the fuck up like I did at the University of Nebraska. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold as well. So again, the misconception is that athletes eat properly, or the perception, I'm sorry, is that athletes eat properly, but it's just not the case. Like I said, we eat the most junk food out of anybody, and then what happens once we stop working out and we continue to eat this junk food, it just catches up with us, and these athletes are dying early at a young age. It's just because of poor nutrition and lack of exercise, to keep it simple. Poor nutrition, lack of exercise is the reason why these athletes are becoming sick and dying at the age of 60. I mean, I think Roddy Piper passed away maybe a month ago in his 60s, which is young. That's what it is. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Reply. I know this is a little bit off topic. Usually I'm covering Africa, but me being an ex-athlete and Moses Malone dying, and that was big news at the age of 60, I kind of wanted to give my input on that. So check out my other videos. And again, like I said, just to close things out, people perceive that athletes eat properly, but athletes don't eat properly. The majority of us, we eat the worst food on the planet. And again, once we stop working out, we continue to eat this bad food, and this bad food is leading athletes to pass away at such a young age, and people are shocked. So subscribe, let me know what you think. I'm out.